Hello YouTube, Eric here again. I have a little talk about impeachment. AOC versus Nancy Pelosi, July 2019. This is a little bit of a correction stroke because I'm seeing people glossing over recent history that they kind of forget. Okay? I watch a little bit of Jimmy Dore. I'm not a progressive. I identify as a liberal, but most people would say I'm more libertarian or right-leaning libertarian. I still go by the label liberal. I'm a strong supporter of the Second Amendment, all that. I can agree with progressives on some stuff, but it's always bigger government this, and they always gloss over some truths that are right in their face. And so I just want to share that. We're in a little time machine here, guys. Back to July 2019. The world is moving too fast, okay? The world is moving so fast, people forget certain details. Me, car crash, nearly 20 years ago. I've been moving slow life for almost 20 years. I'm not saying my perspective is more valid than anybody else's, but I believe it is still a valid perspective, and I'd like to share it. Different perspectives give us greater depth, okay? That's why we've got two eyeballs, remember? Slightly different perspectives. That's how our brain judges depth perception, through our two different eyes. So I'm going to share my lens on this. July, a little bit of a time machine. July 15th, that's the date right here, but before this tweet, okay? We're rewinding here, just about 7 months or so. July 2019. Okay. Nancy Pelosi will not impeach because she's able to see. They don't quite have enough chips stacked to see it all the way through. And how winners game is, you set a goal, and so their goal is they wanted to impeach, and Nancy is like, okay, the next step is you form the plan and you see if you don't lift a finger. Winners will not lift a finger until they can see their plan all the way through. And so by the way, I don't like Nancy Pelosi, okay? I don't like AOC. But, just because I don't like somebody doesn't mean I can't agree with them or call out a truth or share a perspective on this, okay? And this is relevant. Correction stroke, in canoe game terms, right? A correction stroke is just a little shove back into the correct direction. You're never steering perfect when you're out on the sea of life in your canoe. There is no perfect steering in a canoe, right? But the correction strokes help push it right back into the correct direction, okay? That's all. So we're rewinding here. Nancy Pelosi, they've already set the goal. Yeah, they would like to impeach, but she's refusing to do it because they don't have everything. They don't got the ducks in a row yet. And you've got AOC, her squad, and all the progressive followers just screaming from the rooftops, impeach, 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 impeach. And Nancy, she's the one thinking all the steps ahead. She wants it just the same as they want it, but she's thinking enough steps ahead. She doesn't want to start this if they can't finish it. That's a waste of finite resources. This is how winners think, okay? Now, what happened right here? Remember this. Nancy has all the power on the left. Trump tweets this, and it goes viral, and almost everybody on the left gets behind AOC and her squad because Orange Man bad. This was troll game, guys. This was even a lot of Democrats saw this. They're like, oh shit. Within a couple of days they saw this. All the power was now shifted to behind AOC and her squad. And all the progressives were the ones, impeach, impeach, impeach. Okay, so now Nancy was like, okay, shit, like they got all the chips now. Everybody hates my guts. And she's like, all right, I'll submit to the progressives that want to impeach. Now, why this is important is right now, if you watch Jimmy Dore and all the progressives, for months now, they're putting this whole impeachment failure. Jimmy Dore is calling out the impeachment is stupid. They shouldn't have done this. And it's all Nancy's fault. And they're still cheering AOC as their hero. Correction stroke. I just need to show this, okay? Hopefully people can see, oh shit. Oh shit. It's all Nancy's fault right now. When she didn't want to do this. The same people that are the heroes are the progressives. They're pointing the blame at Nancy. When Nancy did what the progressives wanted her to do. Something that she didn't want to do. She wasn't going to do it until she could see it through. Marinate on that for a minute. Now there's more here. This is going to be a question. Questions can make potent red pills. There's been a lot of talk. I haven't heard it the last couple of months, but a few months ago there started to be a lot of talk on the left, the progressives. They want AOC to run in 2024. Full stop. So some people, they're quick to always say, AOC is so dumb, people on the right. And I don't ever think it's wise to assume your opponent is dumb. Same reason why I think that if people hate Donald Trump, don't go into it thinking he's stupid. And when people hate AOC, don't go into it thinking she's stupid. Okay? It's better to err on the side of caution, right? You may not bring your A game if you think your opponent is weak. And if you don't bring your A game, you're setting yourself up for failure. Okay, questions make potent red pills. We're talking about, there are a lot of articles written a couple months ago about AOC in 2024, and I don't know, I don't know the details on it. I don't know, it's going to be real close if she's even old enough to run for president in 2024, so I'm not sure what the details are on that. I haven't heard much popping up. I haven't been looking into it, so I don't know if she can or not, but I guess a lot of people were talking about it a couple months ago. A lot of articles were written. Now you need to think many steps ahead is how winners operate. You have to think many steps ahead. Now, if you can think 2 steps ahead here, I'm going to help you through this if you can't. Let's just say a Democrat, Biden, Bernie Sanders, Buttigieg, one of these guys wins in 2020. AOC doesn't get to run against a Democrat in 2024, does she? Marinate on that for a minute. What if AOC's whole goal, and I've been trying to say this since long before the impeachment, I've been saying, you guys on the left, you need to understand where your battles lie, and they are on the left. They are not on the right. You guys, when you're screaming about how bad President Trump is, you are blinding yourselves from your real battles. And that's some Sun Tzu game right there, and that's been run on you. You're blind to where your battles lie. All your battles right now are on the left. Okay? And every time you scream Orange Man bad in Russia, you're blinding yourselves from your own battles. So what if AOC is intentional? This is a question that could be a potent red pill, folks. I'm not telling you anything, so don't get angry at me because I'm not your enemy either. I'm just trying to help. This is a correction stroke. Questions make potent red pills, right? Every man has to find his own truth. So when I ask you a question, and you don't have to answer it to me, just ask yourself the question, marinate on it, answer it yourself. You get to find your own truth. What if AOC and her handlers, remember she wasn't put in there by herself. There was big money put in, from socialists pushing her in there. What if AOC's handlers were thinking long game? And they intentionally wanted to lose 2020. Like, they want Trump to win. AOC. And I'm asking, what if? Don't get mad at me, guys. I'm not your enemy. I love everybody. Right, left, independent, whatever. Okay? I don't care what color skin you wear. I don't care if you're man, woman. I don't care if you're millennial or a boomer. I'm Gen X. I love everybody, okay? Just questions make potent red pills. You get to find your own truth on this. What if AOC really was for real about running either herself in 2024 or if she's not eligible, another Democratic socialist? Something of this nature. So now what if she was thinking, or her handlers are thinking many steps ahead, how winners think, right? You have to be able to see it all the way through. And so what if they were intentionally trying to divide the left this whole time enough to throw the election and ensure President Trump wins a victory in 2020? So then they get to run in 2024. Okay? Now my brother died in 2008, and I was going to do a whole separate video on this at some point. I'm just winging it. I don't take any notes. I don't do any of these. This is just off the cuff. Just got done blazing some local hashish. I got a big fat tobacco dip in my mouth right now, so I may be speaking funny. My brother said to me in 2008, just before he died, like probably 10 weeks before he died, he was a Ron Paul guy, and he's like, Eric, I know you're pretty hardcore liberal, and you could never vote for a Republican, but what we got to think, like, what if the people could think enough steps ahead to put somebody that they didn't really like in the White House because they knew it was going to push our nation back in the correct direction, the direction we need to go. My brother asked me that as a question, and it didn't mean a thing to me until long after he died. He asked a question, and it was the most potent fucking red pill that I've ever had in my fucking life. And it didn't make any sense to me until long after he wasn't breathing air no more, okay? This is my younger brother, by the way, 2.5 years younger than me, bigger, stronger, and smarter than me, and more gifted than me, gifted musician. My brother taught himself how to play guitar all on his own, then taught himself bass, then taught himself drums, then taught himself keyboard and piano. And he could play any song by ear. He could hear a song on the radio, and he could just teach himself how to play it. He had a fucking gift. Me, not so much, man. My only gift is fishing and gardening, basically. But I'm trying to do what I can with it, you know. Anyways, questions make potent red pills. My brother red pilled the fuck out of me with a question. I coined that term, questions make potent red pills, many years ago. I use it all the time. It still hasn't caught on with anybody. People must think it sounds stupid. But I don't know, maybe it'll grow at some point. Anyways, everybody gets to find their own truth. You heard me say that. What if? Okay? And just keep in mind, Nancy Pelosi was 100%. She wanted to impeach, but she knew there wasn't enough chips in their corner to get it done. Okay? The main point that you should remember here is Jimmy Dore and the progressives are putting this 100% on Nancy. When they themselves built this, they're unhappy with what they built, which, okay, that's what losers do, guys. They're never happy with what they built. And I'm not trying to tear anybody down. I'm trying to build folks up. This is a correction stroke. We need to push back in the correct direction. And if we're glossing right over, like, we can't even remember history from 7 months ago. No, and what I'm talking about right here, this point I'm making right here, I mean, I look at both people on the left and the right. Nobody brings this up. Everybody just forgot. Nancy didn't want to impeach. Or she wanted to, but she couldn't see it through, so she wasn't going to begin the process. Winners do not lift. I'm not trying to give Nancy props, you know, I'm just calling it how it is. Winners will not lift a finger until they can see it all the way through. All the steps. Okay? People, like losers, instant gratification. They need something. They need to pat themselves on their back right now. They need to feel real good right now. Fuck, that's a manipulation tactic. Like, you guys, don't fall for that shit. Okay? Please. I'm only doing this to help try to build others up. Remember, I'm not trying to tear anybody down here. I'm not trying to tear the progressives down. I don't like Nancy, and, you know, I don't agree. I agree with a little bit of Jimmy Dore says, but my God, I could never support. I mean, they're not thinking enough steps ahead. Like, I'm 100% against Obamacare and socialized medicine because I've been through it. Even my own doctor agreed with me 7 years ago. Here's a quote. I said to her, she asked me why I was dropping out of Western medicine, allopathic healthcare. And I said, well, if you look at everything that has provided me benefit since we've been treating, and my own doctor interrupted me, and she finished my sentence with my own words. She knew exactly what I was going to say. She interrupts me and she says, none of it has been allopathic healthcare. And she says, I agree with you. She says, you don't need to see doctors anymore. You're doing better yourself. And for me to reinforce that, and I've wanted to do a video. I'm going to do a series of videos in the future, or maybe I can cram it in one video, how to get the most out of your doctor visit. My own primary care physician, when I made all the lifestyle changes, giving up soy, corn, wheat, all that shit, the soy oils, I gave up all that crap, all grains like 7 years ago, and I had such massive health benefits. My own primary care physician, months later, because she recognized my game and she recognized the lifestyle changes I had made was getting results. And she started incorporating the same lifestyle changes, diet and everything, into her own life. And she bragged to me about the results she was getting. And then she even went so far as she says to me, she says, Eric, you've told me about like if you slip up and eat like some piece of like junk food, like a fucking muffin or something, she said you feel like hell. And she says, I was at a Christmas party. And she says, they were serving up stuff. And she said, I made a mistake. I ate like a something, brownie or some candy or something. And she's like, I felt like hell. And I asked her right away, I was like, did you notice any difference in your ability to breathe deeply? And she like pauses for a moment and she has to think. This is my primary care physician, an osteopath, by the way. And their osteopaths are far more aware than MDs, by the way. If you ever have a chance to see an osteopath, do it. They can do anything a medical doctor can do, but they also perform chiropractic manipulations, and they're well versed in nutrition. Okay. So I asked her if she noticed anything breathing, and she's pausing and thinking, and she says, she's like, oh my. She says, you're right. She says, I stopped at Walgreens on the way home, and it was like sleeting out. I got my young child in the arm. I get him out of the car seat, and I'm holding him in my arms, and she says, so I like kind of walk briskly to the door because it's like sleeting or something of this nature. I can't remember. This was 7 years ago. And she says to me, I get to the door and I'm walking through the door and I realize I'm out of breath and I can't believe why am I out of breath from just taking like 30 quick steps. And she's like, how are you aware of this, Eric? My lifestyle changes caused doctors, very aware doctors, to incorporate the same changes into their life. And I have people that will trash me for me pointing out inconsistencies in Obamacare, because Obamacare is 100% based on allopathic healthcare. Okay, guys? When I try to offer constructive criticism of Obamacare, I was trashed by people who know nothing about healthcare. They know nothing about managing their own health. And all I was doing is try to benefit them, offering constructive criticism, and progressives trashed me forever. I'm trying to help. I've always been trying to help. I'm Aquarius. My role in this world. Teaching men to fish is my foundation, which means my version of that is teaching anything I know to any man who I feel it could benefit. And when I say man, consider that just an abbreviation for man or woman. And no, it's not just a 2-letter abbreviation, because men and women is a whole lot more letters than just men. And don't let it twist your panties. My goal is to build all men up. Rising tide lifts all boats, right? No, I'm not a Republican. No, I'm not a conservative. I don't even like the label of independent. I'm just doing me, and I'm doing it for everybody. Hope this finds you well. Be safe, everybody. Keep in mind, I love everybody. This is meant to lift everybody up. Hope you have a good day.